and I heard it click. And I knew exactly what it was. I said, uh-oh. So I jumped up and looked, and this Japanese come out in that trailer and had his rifle up. But then I wheeled that rifle out and I shot 4 times from the hip. I had to shoot quick. As a volunteer, 17 and 44. And I went down to Camp Shep, Mississippi to get my clothes. And of course, then they didn't tell you where you was going or when you was coming or what ship you was on or nothing, because they didn't want nobody to know it. And if you wrote in the mail home, they censored all of it. And if you said a certain word, because they didn't want you to know where you was at. So got on a troop train. Stayed down about 3 days and got on a troop train. The guys, much of us from Alabama, of course. Got on a troop train and come back at night, and the train pulled into this fort, military place, and I said, what the hell? You know, I didn't know where we was at because nobody told us. I said, damn, what is this place? And so somebody come walking by, and I hollered out, what is the word? I said, where the hell am I at? He said, you're in Camp Fort McClellan. I said, Fort McClellan? But anyhow, I done that and stayed there a little over a month, should have been there longer, at jungle warfare. I don't know why jungle warfare. It's quite a bit different from regular infantry. And I was in what you might say the infantry. Then I went back to Los Angeles and shipped out on a ship to the Philippines and went to Luzon. And that's where I ended up in the engineers, the 532nd Engineers, the 2nd Battalion. But we got over there and they put us in a secured place. It was supposed to be, you know, they've been fighting all around there. All at once we ended up in this secured base and the guy getting shot in jeeps or trucks. The guy would drive out to pick up supply down the wood. It moved us off the beach and was off the beach back in the wood. So this guy was, we call him Checkerboard Charlie. In other words, the guy would drive out in a jeep here and he'd shoot him over there, most times shoot him in the head, he's a sniper. Then next time, maybe over here. So he moved around like a checkerboard, so we call him Checkerboard Charlie. So the old Colonel Keyes was my colonel. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. So me and him kind of hit it off because I was Birmingham too. He knew people that I knew. Of course, he'd been in the military for 40 years. So I'm part Apache Indian. And I thought I was Cherokee, but I'm Apache, almost half Apache. Kind of Geronimo, what you might say. And we'd talked about different things that we did when I was a kid. When I was young, growing up, we played the game of tracking. I don't know if you ever heard of it. They had some Filipino trackers, you know, there's quite a few of them they got. But played the game track. So he talked to me, he said, Branon said, you know, they never call you by your first name. He said, Branon, do you think you could find this guy? I said, man, in the jungle, I'm a new guy over here. I ain't gonna look out the jungle for nobody now. He said, do you think you could find him? I said, I don't know that now. I said, I'm not, you know, I'm not the bravest man in the world. I'm not gonna get out and get shot looking somebody hit out in the woods. And he said, well, I'm thinking about sending you out to hunt him. He said, I'm gonna give you 2 more people with you. And I think he picked the dumbest guy. I think he thought we were gonna all get shot, to tell you the truth, but he picked the dumbest guys within the company that, I say dumb, they were dumb. And he's gonna go with you. Oh my God. He said, you're gonna, but then I got a guy shot the next morning, this when we sent out. So we knew what area he was in. So we left at daybreak, about 5:30 to go out into the woods. And the jungle, I keep saying woods is jungle, if you know what a jungle is, the vines and junk and everything else out there. So picked up his track right off. They wore shoes that just, I don't know where you've seen them, they got a toe in them. You ever seen them, Japanese shoes? Well, the soldiers wore shoes and the feet was, the whole foot was there except the toe, and the toe was by itself. Just a toe, and then it kind of, and they come up here and they wrapped your legs with legging, and then that shoe, well, I picked up that track right off in that area. So we started tracking him and tracking about 12 o'clock. We've been out there about 6 hours or longer. So these two dummies with me, I told them, I said, they won't take a break. I said, well, hell, I don't know about that. I said, we're going to catch up to this dude. So I finally said, yeah, we'll take a break. But I said, don't smoke no cigarettes. And I said, don't be running your mouth. So it was a little dead coconut tree laying across a little trail about this wide. I don't know where's the animal trail or what there. And so we'd sit down on this little trail, a little coconut tree laying across. And I told him, I said, I don't all sit and look the same direction. I said, y'all sit and look that way up the trail, and I'll sit and look this way down the trail. Okay. We sat there about, I guess, 5 or 6, 7 minutes, just kind of in the slumbering, just sitting there waiting. And I heard it click. And I knew exactly what it was. I said, uh-oh. So I jumped up and looked. I knew it was behind me. I jumped up and looked, and this Japanese, I got his picture there, he was standing about 130 or 40 feet in that trail. Come out in that trail and had his rifle up. And I wheeled like that. When I wheeled, I think I knocked one of the guys upside the head. But then I wheeled that rifle around and I shot 4 times, shot 4 times from the hip. I had to shoot quick. And I didn't know really, I didn't know who he had the rifle on anyhow. But anyhow, I hit him 3 times and knocked him backwards and killed him. But anyhow, that guy, he'd been in the military for a long time, but I don't know how he played that dumb. But, I had some people to research these medals he's got on and his kids and all that. I got all that there. And they told me he'd fought all over in Burma and all them places. So I don't know how long been there, probably all his life about it. But the reason I'd like to get those pictures back is because his kids, and I always felt bad about it, because they was 3 or 4 or 5 years old. So I'd like to got them back and told them what happened to him, because they never knowed they buried him out there, and I know that nobody had dug him up. There's lots of Japanese and Americans too. The MIA, there's a lot of people that don't know where they disappeared. The war ain't what people thinks it is. I don't know, and most people ain't never really had experience, but it's a hell of a place to be, and it's nothing fun about it. But a lot of people thinks it is, but like I say, you're scared to death 99% of the time. Sometimes your mind gets off, but you don't never know when you're in a war zone. You don't never know when you're going to get shot. Actually, I found out after the war when I was in Japan that I met up with a guy. He said he was a pilot on Pearl Harbor. Now, whether he was or not, I don't know. But he told me that they were told that for us to get in the military, we had to kill a brother, sister, or mother, or daddy. You couldn't get in the military. The Army couldn't get in the military unless you did that. See, that's the reason they fought on them samurais. They fought to the very last one. But anyhow, I guess the people in Okinawa, the civilians, women, kids, you've probably seen the picture or heard the word, but that island, on the other side was a bluff, and they was throwing their kids off and jumping off behind them. The women was, and they couldn't. We was trying to save them, and they was trying to destroy themselves, which is really bad. But kids is a bad thing in a war zone. It's bad. I don't care where it's at. It's bad. I know when I went in Japan, at Yokohama, anyhow, we set up a portable kitchen outside, and them little kids, they're walking good. Some of them older, but most of them are small. Anyhow, the little kid run around, it's pretty hard to sit down and eat. Yeah. Yes, it's not a good thing to see kids go hungry, that's for sure. Even in America, it's not. Yeah.
With Memoirs of World War II. Thank you for watching this episode of our series, Conversations with a Veteran. We are dedicated to reaching as many World War II veterans as we can before they are no longer with us, but we cannot do it alone. If you'd like to help us in this mission, consider supporting us on Patreon and visit memoirsofworldwar2.com for more information. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our short film series where we feature a different veteran story every month. In these short documentaries, you get to hear from the veterans themselves in an emotional and visceral way, seeing the sights and hearing the sounds that they experienced as they fought to bring an end to the greatest conflict that the world has ever seen. Again, thank you for watching and sharing these videos, and thank you for your support.